Petra, Jordan location country, Jordan region, Mon Governorate. Southern Jordan geography, nestled between rugged desert canyons and mountains. Entry is through a narrow gorge called the Sik, 1.2 kilometers long, about 240 kilometers south of Amman, capital of Jordan, and 120 kilometers north of Aqaba. Red Sea port. Coordinates 30.3285 n. 35.4444 e. Importance. Once the capital of the Nabataean kingdom, 4th century BCE to 106 CE, served as a major trade hub, connecting Arabia, Egypt, and the Mediterranean. Showcased advanced water management systems in an arid desert environment. Cultural and heritage significance. Known as the Rose Red City due to its pink sandstone cliffs, recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site 1985, declared one of the new Seven Wonders of the World 2007, symbol of Jordanian identity, appearing on currency, stamps, and tourism campaigns. Modern importance. Jordan's top tourist destination, drawing hundreds of thousands of visitors yearly. A global icon featured in films, Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade, books and documentaries, represents the fusion of Nabataean and Eastern architectural styles. Historical background of Petra. Prehistoric and early settlement of human habitation around 7000 BCE. Archaeological findings suggest early farming communities in the region before Petra's rise. Nabataean era 4th century BCE to 106 CE. The Nabataeans, an Arab nomadic tribe, settled in Petra around the 4th century BCE. Petra became their capital city and the center of a powerful kingdom, known for trade mastery, controlling caravan routes linking Arabia, Egypt, Mesopotamia, and the Mediterranean. Hydraulic engineering, building dams, cisterns, and water conduits to thrive in a desert landscape. Architecture, monumental rock-cut facades, temples, and tombs blending Hellenistic and Near Eastern styles. By the 1st century BCE, Petra was at its peak prosperity, renowned for wealth and culture. Roman period 106 CE to 395 CE. In 106 CE, in 106 CE, Petra was annexed by the Roman Empire under Emperor Trajan, became part of the province of Arabia, Petra. Romans built, colonnaded, streets, temples, and public buildings, expanded the theatre. However, Petra's significance declined as Romans favored new trade routes via Sea. Byzantine period 4th, 7th century CE. Petra saw reduced importance. Some Nabataean temples were converted into Christian churches. Byzantine mosaics and church remains still exist in Petra. Islamic and medieval period, 7th, 13th century CE. After the Islamic conquest, 7th century, Petra continued to decline by the Crusader era, 12th century. Petra was a remote fortress region, abandoned gradually due to earthquakes, shifting trade, and isolation. Rediscovery, 1812 CE. Johann Ludwig Burckhardt, a Swiss explorer disguised as an Arab traveler, was guided to Petra. His reports reintroduced Petra to the Western world. Transformations. Over time, Petra's evolution. 1. Prehistoric and early habitation before 4th century BCE. Small farming and nomadic communities existed in the Petra region. Early settlements utilized the fertile valleys and natural water sources. To Nabataean. Golden Age 4th century BCE to 106 CE. Petra became the capital of the Nabataean kingdom, flourished as a trade and cultural hub linking Arabia, Egypt, and the Mediterranean. Most of Petra's iconic rock-cut structures, tombs and water systems were built during this period. Point 3. Roman incorporation, 106 CE to 395 CE, annexed by Rome under Trajan in 106 CE. Roman-style architecture, colonnaded street, amphitheater expansions introduced. Gradual decline as Rome developed. New sea routes, bypassing Petra, for Byzantine period, 395, 7th century CE. Petra became a provincial town of the Byzantine Empire. Decline continued as its trade role diminished. Christian influence grew. Several churches and mosaics were built. 5. Islamic era and decline 7th–13th century CE under Islamic caliphates. Petra lost strategic importance, deserted gradually, surviving as a small Bedouin settlement. Earthquakes notably in 363 and 551 CE damaged many structures. 6. Forgotten and hidden 13th, 19th century CE, known only to local Bedouins, absent from global maps and knowledge for centuries. 7. Rediscovery, 1812, rediscovered by Johann Ludwig Burckhardt, a Swiss explorer, sparked European fascination with Petra as the lost city. 8. Modern era, 20th century present, 1985, declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site, 2007, chosen as one of the new 7 wonders of the world. Today, Petra is Jordan's most famous tourist attraction and a global cultural treasure. Architecture and design of Petra. 1. General characteristic crack-cut architecture. Petra's monuments are carved directly into the rose-red sandstone cliffs, rather than built with separate stones. Blended styles, influences from Nabataean, Hellenistic Greek, Roman, Egyptian, and Mesopotamian architecture, scale and grandeur, from small tombs to massive facades like the Treasury 40 meters high. Urban planning. The city was laid out with religious, residential, funerary, and commercial zones. 2. Architectural highlights. Tombs and monuments, dominant feature of Petra, carved into cliffs with ornate facades. Example, the Treasury Al-Khazna, iconic tomb with Corinthian columns, friezes, and sculptures, temples and religious sites. The Monastery, Ad-Dir, monumental temple-like structure, 50 meters wide and 45 meters tall. High place of sacrifice, open-air altar used for rituals, public and civic buildings. Roman theater, carved into rock, expanded by Romans to seat approximately 8,000. Colonnaded street, main Roman style, road for trade and civic life. Residential areas, houses, markets, and smaller structures for daily living. 3. Engineering and water management. Gel. Harsh desert environment with minimal rainfall. Nabataean solution. Sophisticated hydraulic systems, including dams, aqueducts, cisterns, and reservoirs, collected and stored seasonal floods for year-round use. This engineering feat allowed Petra to sustain tens of thousands of people. 4. Artistic and symbolic features. Facades, often decorated with mythological figures, deities, and symbolic carvings. Use of natural sandstone colors, reds, pinks, purples, and golds for aesthetic beauty. Many monuments designed to display power, wealth, and religious devotion. Notable features of Petra. 1. The Sikha, dramatic 1.2 kilometers long, narrow gorge that serves as the main entrance to Petra, flanked by cliffs up to 80 meters high. Along the way, channels and carvings demonstrate Petra's water engineering systems, creates a powerful visual effect as it opens suddenly to reveal the Treasury to Al-Khazna. The Treasury, Petra's most iconic monument, 40 meters high and intricately carved into pink sandstone, believed to have been the tomb of a Nabataean king. Though its exact purpose remains debated, features Hellenistic and Nabataean architecture with Corinthian columns, friezes, and sculptures. 3. The Street of Facades, row of tall tombs carved into cliffs, represents the Nabataean tradition of elaborate burial architecture. 4. The Royal Tombs, a group of monumental tombs, urn tomb, silk tomb, Corinthian tomb, palace tomb, known for their large-scale and richly decorated facades. 5. The theatre, carved entirely into rock by the Nabataeans, later enlarged by the Romans, could seat around 6,000 to 8,000 spectators, used for public performances, political events, and ceremonies. 6. The Monastery at Dia, one of the largest monuments in Petra, about 50 meters wide and 45 meters tall, similar in style to the Treasury, but on a grander scale, used for religious purposes, reached by climbing over 800 rock-cut steps. 7. Colonnaded street, central, Roman-style street lined with columns. Once the city's main commercial avenue, housed shops, markets, and public buildings. 8. High place of sacrifice, a ceremonial site atop a mountain, includes altars, obelisks, and platforms for religious rituals, provides panoramic views of Petra. Cultural and symbolic significance of Petra. 1. Symbol of Jordan. Petra is Jordan's most iconic landmark, often called the Rose Red City, featured on Jordanian currency, passports, and tourism campaigns. Represents national pride and identity. 2. Fusion of civilizations. Petra's architecture blends Nabataean, Greek, Roman, Egyptian, and Mesopotamian elements, symbolizes cultural exchange and the interconnectedness of ancient trade routes, demonstrates how the Nabataeans adapted outside influences into their own style. 3. Testament to human ingenuity, a city carved out of cliffs in a harsh desert environment, sustained by advanced water systems, reflects human resilience and creativity in overcoming environmental challenges, seen as a marvel of ancient engineering and art. 4. Spiritual and mystical value. Temples and sacrificial sites highlight Petra's role as a religious and ceremonial center. Even today, visitors describe a sense of mystery and awe when walking through the sick into the Treasury. 5. Global Heritage designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site. 1985, voted one of the new 7 Wonders of the World. 2007, featured in global culture through films Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, The Mummy Returns, books, documentaries, and art, a symbol of shared human history and universal heritage. Visitor information. Petra. 1. Access and location. Nearest city, Wadi Musa, serves as the gateway town to Petra, from Amman, capital of Jordan. 240 kilometers 3 to 4 hours by car or bus. From Aqaba, Red Sea, 120 kilometers 2 hours by road. Entry point through the Sikh narrow canyon leading to the Treasury. 2. Visiting hours: summer May, September, 6 a.m., 6 o'clock p.m., winter, October, April, 6 a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. BEST, to arrive early morning to explore before crowds and heat. 3. Tickets and passes. Petra, entry fee, 50 JD 74, a one-day visit, 55 JD 77 for 2 days, 60 JD $85 for 3 days. Jordan Pass. Highly recommended. Includes Petra entry and covers Jordan visa fees. 4. Experiences Petra by day. Explore iconic landmarks, Treasury, Monastery, Royal Tombs, Colonnaded Street. Petra by night. Magical experience. Treasury, illuminated by 1,500 candles with traditional Bedouin music and storytelling. Hiking trails, Sick to Treasury, easy walk. Monastery trail. 800 steps, climb. High place of sacrifice trail for panoramic views. 5. Tourist facilities. Guides, licensed guides, available at the visitor center. Transport inside Petra, horses, donkeys, and camels, offered optional with cost. Shops and cafes. Local Bedouins sell souvenirs, food and drinks. Accommodation, wide range in nearby Wadi. Musa budget to luxury hotels, closing parenthesis. 6. Best time to visit spring, March, May, and autumn Sept November, for pleasant weather. Summers can be very hot, while winters bring cold nights. 7. Visitor tips. Wear comfortable shoes. Lots of walking and climbing. Carry water, hat, sunscreen. Desert heat is intense. Allocate at least 2 days to explore fully. Respect local Bedouin culture when interacting with guides and sellers. Modern challenges and preservation. Petra 1. Environmental challenges, erosion and weathering. The sandstone cliffs and carvings are fragile, easily eroded by wind, rain, and temperature shifts. Flash floods, sudden desert floods, threaten monuments and pathways. Earthquakes. Petra is in a seismically active region. Past earthquakes already damaged structures. 2. Tourism. Petra attracts hundreds of thousands of visitors annually. Constant foot traffic, touching of carvings, and vibrations accelerate stone erosion. Unregulated animal rides, horses, camels, donkeys contribute to wear on pathways. 3. Human impact looting and vandalism. In earlier times, tombs were looted. Some areas still suffer from graffiti. Urban development. Nearby town, Wadi Musa. Expansion and modern infrastructure pose conservation concerns. 4. Preservation efforts. UNESCO World Heritage Site 1985. International recognition brought protective measures. Jordan's Department of Antiquities actively monitors and restores monuments. International cooperation, partnerships with UNESCO, World Monuments Fund, and universities for research and digital mapping. Petra Archaeological Park, established to regulate tourism and protect the site. 5. Sustainable tourism efforts to balance heritage conservation with economic benefits for Jordan. Programs encourage controlled visitor flow, trained guides, and eco-friendly practices. Digital documentation, 3D scanning and mapping preserve Petra virtually for future generations. Summary table. Petra, Jordan aspect, details location, Mon Governorate, Southern Jordan, 240 kilometers south of Amman, 120 kilometers north of Aqaba. Coordinates, train to Punta Tres dos Ochocientos, NA. 35.444 for I founded, settled by Nabataeans in the 4th century. BCI peak, period 1st century BCE, 1st century CE, Nabataean Golden Age, historical roles, Nabataean capital, major caravan trade hub. Roman provincial city rediscovery 1812 by Swiss explorer Johann Ludwig Burckhardt. Architecture, rock-cut tombs and temples, Greco-Roman and Nabataean styles. Advanced water systems. Notable monuments: the Sikh Treasury, Al-Khazna Monastery, Ad-Dir, royal tombs, theatre, colonnaded street cultural significance, symbol of Jordan, UNESCO World Heritage Site 1985. One of the new 7 Wonders 2007 visitor experience hiking trails. Petra by night candlelit Treasury. Guided tours best time to visit spring March, May and autumn Sept November. Challenges sandstone erosion, flash floods, earthquakes, heavy tourism, impact preservation efforts, UNESCO, Jordan's Department of Antiquities, Petra Archaeological Park, digital 3D documentation, ending, detailed note. Petra, Jordan. Petra is not simply an archaeological site. It is a living testament to human creativity, resilience, and cultural exchange. From its origins as a Nabataean capital in the desert to its rediscovery in the 19th century, Petra's journey reflects the rise and fall of civilizations, the power of trade, and the endurance of heritage across millennia. Carved directly into the rose-red cliffs, its monuments, like the Treasury, Monastery, and royal tombs, embody a striking blend of Nabataean ingenuity with Greek and Roman influence. Beyond its artistic beauty, Petra demonstrates advanced engineering, particularly in its water management systems, which allowed life to flourish in one of the harshest desert landscapes on Earth. Today, Petra stands as Jordan's greatest national treasure and a universal symbol of human heritage, celebrated as both a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the new 7 Wonders of the world. Its global recognition underscores the importance of preserving it against natural erosion and the pressures of mass tourism. But for travelers, Petra is more than a destination. It is an immersive journey through history, where every step through the sick, every carved facade, and every echo in the theatre tells the story of a civilization that once controlled the arteries of ancient trade for the world. Petra is a reminder that human determination can transform barren rock into a city of eternal wonder.